I have our strategies broken down, letting you know kind of generally where your team should be. So, rule of thumb, you got 4 wide receivers, 3 running backs, and 1 quarterback or tight end. Kind of, obviously there's some flexibility here based on who falls and stuff. But, I think this is generally a good approach. If you put too much in running backs, you're, kind of a top-heavy team, hoping that things go well. If you put too much in wide receivers, you don't have as much ceiling. It's the bottom line. So balancing it out, and then having a quarterback or tight end so you're not always scrambling to stream players each week, and you can raise your team ceiling. So hero RB. So we're talking hero and zero. You have 2, maybe 3 RBs at this point. If it's hero, you got 1 in the first round, maybe the second, and then maybe later on those guys 7, 8 that we were talking, Alvin Kamara, Antonio Gibson, AJ Dillon. But you're loaded at wide receiver. When you look at your receiving core, people are going to be calling you with how good your team is at receiver. And then hopefully you have, again, a tight end or quarterback to balance it out. If you go 0 RB, you want to have both. You want your starters to be perfect, except for your running back. So when I say wide receiver 2 plus, 4 wide receiver 2 pluses, 2 of those are wide receiver 1s. So that means you went AJ Brown, you went Amon-Ra St. Brown, and then you just filled out maybe, I can't remember who falls, but Amari Cooper, Calvin Ridley. All right, so now next up, RB heavy. So your first 2 picks are RBs. For whatever reason, maybe you're in a standard league, and you get Christian McCaffrey or Ramondre Stevenson. Your mentality should be, my RBs are set. I need to have high volume wide receivers who don't lose me games. I need to have wide receivers getting me 5 points, maybe 10. I don't need a guy who's going to go out and get me 20. Top 2 pick quarterback. If you get a quarterback in the first or second, bad. That's all I got to say is bad. Third round is when you can start thinking about Patrick Mahomes, but he's not going to fall there, so don't even bother. And now, first 2 pick tight end. This is because Travis Kelce is a unicorn and ruins all advice that we give. So, when you get Kelce, you need to pair him with a high floor running back. That's a Nick Chubb. That's a Ramondre Stevenson. And then you also have to have a good wide receiver as well as a wide receiver with high upside. That's why I think it's just generally better to avoid a tight end as early as you get him. If you get him, in the second round, it's a little bit better. But you can see all the conditions I put on this is why I get scared taking tight ends early unless you know what you're doing.